Come on. There we go. Okay. Recording has started. Cool. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Ascribe Illustrator as a replacement for Ascribe presentations. So I'm going to start out on the studies page. So I'm going to just click and go directly to the studies page. And I'm going to be working in the fitness club study today. And let's just take a quick look at the fitness club study so we know what's going on here, first of all. I should probably show some stuff here. There we go. At least show that stuff, right? So the fitness club study has one open-end question that we'll be looking at today, the comment question, and it's got 4 closed-end questions available. Okay, I wanted to keep it simple to kind of start out with to show you some of the stuff that we can do here. So popping back over to the studies page, I'm going to right-click on Fitness Club, and you'll notice that there are 3 options in version 9.0. for visualizations, okay? Ascribe presentations, cross tabs only. So if I click on Ascribe presentations, you're going to see, here we go, okay, that the only thing available to us is the cross tab tool, okay? All of the other Ascribe presentation tools have been removed, and that's why we're kind of moving people to Ascribe Illustrator. The cross tab tool, we do plan to discontinue that in September of 2017. Okay, well, by September of 2017. And so we have a month or 2 to transition from presentations to Illustrator. And our training team is very happy to help with that. And this is kind of the first step to that. Today, I'm just going to kind of show you a few things, and we can get into more detail, more in-depth training with individual companies if that's necessary, or individual associates. Okay, so you do have access to Ascribe Illustrator directly from the Ascribe Presentations page. There's also a video tutorial here. But I'm going to pop back over to the Studies page and right-click on the fitness study and go to Ascribe Illustrator for Presentations users. Okay, the difference between Ascribe Illustrator and Ascribe Illustrator for Presentations users is that Ascribe Illustrator for Presentations users has a wizard at the beginning. So while that's opening up, while it's creating the illustration, a couple things. All accounts will have Illustrator turned on in version 9.0 unless you tell us otherwise, okay? So every account will have Ascribe Illustrator access, okay? When you create an illustration, that illustration will automatically be created. Previously, we had to actually create one and give it a name, but this illustration was just created. We now have a fitness club illustration here, okay? We can create or save Excel files, PowerPoint, SVGs, HTML, and zipped JPEGs from an unsaved illustration, okay? So an illustration is created automatically, and we'll go into this more as we go forward, but, and you can actually export from that illustration, okay? But there's a new option to save the illustration that will actually charge transactions, and we're going to look into that too. So I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Everyone will have access to Illustrator. Illustrations are automatically created when we open up the Illustrator. The illustration for that study is automatically created. We are charged transactions if we save that illustration, okay? And we'll be going over some of those things. So again, illustration for presentations users activates this wizard, okay? And the wizard is set up similar to what we used to see in Ascribe presentations. Only in Ascribe presentations, we can only access one of these tools at a time, and the visuals, you know, it was like create the visual, export it, it goes away, create the next visual, export it, it goes away, create the next table, save it, and it goes away, whatever. So, but here, we actually have the ability to create multiple visualizations, multiple crosstabs, multiple tables at one time, okay? And they will be housed in our illustration. So I'm going to just start out very simple with a crosstab, okay? And maybe a crosstab and a word cloud. So those are 2 of the things that I know that are used, were used often in presentations. So crosstab and word cloud. So I click crosstab, I click word cloud. So first of all, I'm clicking the visualizations that I'd like to create. All right, I hit next, and next I get to pick the questions that I'd like to visualize. In this case, I do only have the one open end, so I'll visualize the comment question. I could visualize, maybe I'll go ahead and do the MPS question as well. So what I'm asking the system to do is create a crosstab and a word cloud for my comment question and my MPS question, okay? I could also say, well, do I want to see banners here? Since I've got crosstab, since I chose the crosstab visualization, do I want to banner my crosstab? So if I want to put, let's say I want to put the region as a banner on my crosstab, I can choose the questions that I'd like to use as banners. If I do want to show my open-end questions, I can, but typically the closed-end questions are all that's showing here. And you might have noticed that we differentiate between open ends and closed ends by putting the closed ends between brackets. Okay? All right. So I'm going to banner my comment crosstab by my region. And then my next option, if I go to next, is for filtering. Okay, so this filtering is kind of it's kind of a neat thing that we can do, and I might come back to this, but I'm not going to do this right now. But basically, I could tell it that I want to actually create visuals for each individual district. So I want to create a comment crosstab for each district, or I want to create a comment crosstab for each MPS. Again, it's kind of like a batch creation filter here. I'm not going to go into that in detail right now. I'm going to hit next. And now I've got my options. So any of the visuals that we chose, we have options, okay? We can customize them. So we get to decide how we want to group them. Do we want a table of contents? So there's a lot of options here that we can go into. I'm not going to go into a lot of them right now. I just want to show that we do have these options. When we do deep dive training, we can go into all of these individual things. One thing I do want to do is on my crosstab, I want to show all my codes, not just the top 25, and I want to set my minimum frequency to 0 as well, because I want all of my code book. I want my code book in full form. Okay, we get to choose what do we want to see, counts, percentages, or counts and percentages. Okay, and do we want to display codes and nets? Do we want to just display the codes or just display the nets? So what kind of report are we looking for here, crosstab wise? All right, and then for our word cloud, I'm just showing the top 25 words. Maybe I'll show them as text. I can change my font family if I like. I can sort them. I'll sort them by value. And I could even say, well, I'm going to use our lovely palette 4. I could also ignore certain words. So I could tell it, the, if, and, of. And these can actually be saved as well for each individual account. Okay? So when we're finished, we're going to hit finish, and instantly a little tour is going to be activated. Do we want to take a tour of Illustrator? I'm not going to take the tour right now. Rather, I'm going to get directly into the illustration. So what we've got here is a table of contents. It tells us this is the Fitness Club illustration, Fitness Club study. We've got our crosstab canvas that, and you notice when I hover over the canvas, it tells me that there's a visual for comment and a visual for MPS in this canvas. And we've got our word cloud canvas. Again, the comment question and the MPS question are included in this canvas. These are shortcuts to opening the canvas. There's only two canvases here, so no big deal. Or we can click on the individual. So what we have here is our comment crosstab. Okay, and again, remember I put the banner on, so we're seeing the banner here across the top. And then MPS. Again, I just chose MPS to kind of show you that you can do this for all of your open ends and your closed ends. It doesn't matter. So we have these available here. Okay, when we look at the word clouds, the MPS word cloud is not going to be very interesting, but these are our word clouds. Okay, now we can absolutely, we can select one, or we also have the option, here we are, we also have the option to select all the visuals, and we can output those to Excel, Okay, so all of our tables we can output to Excel, and when we do that, it puts it in one Excel document with each table on its own tab. Okay, we can also, with the word clouds, since these are visuals, I'm going to select all. We can output those to PowerPoint, save them as JPEGs, SVGs, or in HTML. Okay, and also if you want to export that to Excel, it'll give you the behind-the-scenes data, exporting that to Excel as well. Okay, so a couple of other things. Once you create these, you can resize them if you are going to, if you are going to save the visualization, if you are going to save the illustration, you can absolutely save it. Okay, we'll talk again about that again in a minute. So you can resize. The other thing that you can do is you can actually add other visuals. So let's say that I want to add a visual. I want to add a visual right here. And what I want to add here is the actual verbatim for the comment question. Okay, so I add this box. I select the box, and I come up here and I say, I want to add a visual for my comment question, and I want it to be the verbatim. So now I see my verbatim. Okay, so the coolness about this is that as I drill in, if I drill into this 13, I'm going to see the 13 comments that were given that particular code. And I'm now filtering by the comment question, shower needs repaired in Northwest, because I clicked in that column. Okay? I'm going to pop back over just to kind of go back, gain our bearings here. If I click on an individual visual, you'll notice that I get all of these. Some of you use Illustrator today, others have not, but I get all of these options over here to the right side of the screen. Okay, so I could go in and I could change my banner. I could say, well, you know what, actually it wasn't region that I was looking for, it was district. Or, you know what, no, it wasn't district, it was division. I want to see east versus west. So you can actually change your banner if you need to. You can actually put in multiple banners if you like and stack them. So there's all of the options. Again, I'm not going to go into those in detail, I just wanted to show that are available over here. Also, at the you can also set defaults, okay, for each of your visuals. So there's this whole defaults area. Not going to get into that in big detail today. I just wanted to make sure that I said that if you have defaults where you always want to show your counts and percentages, or you're always there's always certain things that are in place, you can set those and it will remember that for the next time that you create an illustration. Okay, so yeah, these are the basics. Saving. When you save the illustration, you'll see we give you a little warning there. You're going to be charged transactions. So if we save this illustration, we're going to be charged 1,668 transactions. Okay, so we're always telling you that that's going to happen. All right. You would need to give it, it does suggest, we suggest an ID. You can change that. We suggest a label. And when you save it, this illustration is now accessible. So if I go back, let's go back to the home page, okay, and I click on Illustrator, this illustration is now accessible to me through Illustrator. Okay, so here it is. All right. Now the other thing that I can do is I can share this. Now that I've saved this, I can actually share this illustration with other people. I can generate a link, okay, send the link and the password, and people do not have to have access to Ascribe to get to this. So this might be a nice way to deliver verbatim. You could deliver the code book with the verbatim beside it if people are looking for verbatim with their coding. Or a nice way to deliver, if you deliver word clouds, we can actually, these word clouds aren't looking very good right now because I haven't cleaned them up, but there's, you know, you could go through and clean up your word cloud and deliver that, right? So there's a lot of different things that that you can do with this, that, you know, other visuals that are available. all of the visuals that are available are right here. So at any time, if I decide, you know what, I don't want a word cloud, rather let's look at a code cloud, I could change that to a comment question code cloud, and that's a little funky looking right now because it's showing my codes and my nets. If I showed my codes only, it gets a little more interesting. But yeah, there's just various things that we could do, visuals that we can do here that that might be helpful to you and your team. And do a block chart and so on and so forth, and change that back to word cloud. Okay. So that is what I wanted to show you today. Oh, a couple of other things. The Illustrator wizard. You can access that wizard at any time by clicking on this little magic wand up here. Okay. So that's the illustration wizard. You could also tell it anytime you create a new illustration to show the wizard. There's a little toggle box here. Okay. So the wizard's always accessible. Also the tour is always accessible, so the tour will kind of take you through the layout of the screen, so that's accessible as well. And also these videos, these tutorials. So this tutorial is kind of telling you how to go from Ascribe presentations to Ascribe Illustrator. I believe Serge created this. I myself have not watched that. And then there's first steps in Ascribe Illustrator, how to use the Illustrator wizard, and applying weights to an illustration, illustration links. So those are the tutorials that are currently available. All right. I believe that is everything that I wanted to cover today. Let me just go through the list real quick here. Yeah, Laura, that's everything. Yes.
There's a question about the link that you provide for an illustration. Can the recipient change the data or filter the data, or is there
they can? Okay, so let me just show you what this looks like real quick. Okay, so no, with the link, they can filter if the filters are available to them. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's copy this, copy the password, and let's click here. The other cool thing about this link is that if you update the visualization, the link is automatically updated, so it's one link for an illustration. So this is what it looks like when you send a link. They know how many respondents are represented. Okay, they do have the option to filter and or a one, but again, we haven't covered that in detail. So they get the table of contents, and they get each of these. They can't even resize. There's no resizing, but there is drill down. Okay, so if I want to say showers need repair, you'll notice that I'm now filtering for the 60 people that said shower needs repair. Okay, everything, even the word cloud, is being filtered for the people that said showers need repair. Okay, so they can filter. Also, they can export to Excel, PowerPoint, so they can do all this exporting. Okay, so those are the only things that are available when you deliver a link to someone. Any other questions, Julie?
Not right now.
Okay, because I've covered everything. I don't want to get into great detail on the rest of these tools up here. Again, we can schedule training for that. I just want to make sure that I show people how to create a crosstab and how to change that crosstab if they needed to. And I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and open up. I'll unmute. There we go. So everybody is now unmuted.